I often get asked, can you help with a trapped nerve? And then short, yes, but the long answer is, how do we know what the trapped nerve actually is? Well, the thing is, a lot of people experience pain, numbness, tingling, pins and needles, loss of power, all those different things if it's a proper trapped nerve. But also the question is, where is it being trapped? Because until you can find the pinching or the trapped, where it is trapped, the nerve itself, there's no way of actually resolving it. And it's quite a biomechanical issue. So what that means is that it's a physical movement, and so no tablet, no cream, no drug is going to help change a bio or mechanical change or a challenge or a pinching. It's going to be needing to have a physical movement that needs to be created for that to be released, to take it off. So the word trapped is not really something that I really actually like to use. I prefer using pinched because it implies there's a little bit of a pinching, maybe a bulging of something, or maybe some inflammation that's just squishing the space for a nerve to flow through. And there's many different areas that a nerve could be pinched. A little bit like when you've got lights in your building, and if you want to turn the light on, we often go to a switch on the wall. And the reason that works, because we know there's a wire that goes from that switch to that bulb, and so when you press that on, it turns it on. If there was a pinched nerve and you pressed on that button, it wouldn't work, would it? Because it'll be somewhere in that wiring. So we know between there and there's a problem. Or if we try to turn the light on and we didn't actually try and change the light bulb itself, and that didn't work either, we'd know there's been something else going on, maybe the fuse board in the fuse box, for example. So that's a bit like our body, because when we look at our spine, see, when we've got the back here and the front here, we have all of these nerves, these yellow bits, that they supply everything in your body. And so these go into your legs, the ones in the lower back. These ones in the middle part of your back tend to go around to all of your organs. And the ones up in the neck go up to your head and into your arms and your hands. So if you've got pain, numbness, tingling, weakness, any kind of symptoms like that in any part of your body, there may be a chance, it may not be a local problem, but it may be linked back to somewhere in the spine or somewhere between the spine and that part of the body, or it may be higher up. So let's say, for example, you're feeling some problem in your leg, it might be due to some other connection higher up, like we'd go to the mains or the fuse box to find out where the problem is. So until you find that mechanical challenge that your body's experiencing on that part of the nervous system, no tablet, no cream, no drug, nothing else is really going to relieve that off. Not even some exercises, because that might aggravate the issue if you don't know exactly where the problem is from. So there isn't an exercise that I can give you for a trapped nerve, but what I can tell you is that you do need to seek a local professional who is specialized, like chiropractors and osteopaths, they can specialize in finding the source of the problem. And that's really important when you find the source of the problem, because only then can you release that nerve, that pinching that's coming on that nerve, and that can then allow that normal nerve flow to conduct. Also, we've got to be mindful of how long has it been pinched or trapped for, because the longer you pinch a nerve for, the more weakness you can potentially get into the signals that are going to those areas. So we're talking about maybe potentially even sometimes few days, weeks, or even months. In rare cases, years, but that would be quite unusual if you didn't know about that for that long. So we want to make sure we find that. Now, how do we do that? Well, the thing that I do before I see any patient is we go through a full case history. So we find out exactly what their symptoms are. We find out how long they've had them for. We find out what other kind of things are they doing in their life, how they're using their bodies. Are they are they quite an active personality? Do they live quite a sedentary lifestyle? Are there other goals they'd like to achieve, but they've kind of fallen into an excuse pattern of saying, oh, I would like to do that, but oh no, it's not for me anymore. I used to be able to do that kind of thing. But what if that might be something they're putting off because of the current state? And if we could change that state, maybe, potentially, they might be able to do some of those things again. So we really find that out first. Then, and you'll see in some of my videos when I'm adjusting my patients, you can see that I'm actually looking to see which levels on the spine are not working so well. And when you release that, that allows the better function in those joints to move much, much better, which allows the nerves that are coming out of that part of the spine to supply the rest of the body much more efficiently. And the research has found recently, really interestingly, that when you adjust those levels, in fact, it's all the signal coming back from the body back into the nervous system also connects better, and it makes a stronger overall nervous system as well, which is really important because your nervous system runs everything in your body. It doesn't just supply the body from the nerves to the body, but it goes the other way around. It's like a full network. And so when that happens, you're getting this constant feedback loop about, the signals. It's a bit like if you're ever familiar with a Wi-Fi signal, what tends to happen is your internet provider will send out a message, but your computer sends a message back saying, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm live, and we're getting signals back and forth. And that's a little bit like our nervous system. We get these messages back and forth to make sure everything's working well to connect together. And just like most things, once it's working well, there's always a potential for it to revert back, or maybe some new injury or potential risk of something else going wrong. And so regular checkups will help prevent that, like in anything as well. So that's kind of important too, to make sure that once you've released that nerve, once you've untrapped it or unpinched it, and it's working better, we want to make sure we put everything in place, whether it be changing some lifestyle choices that may have got you in that place got to that place in the first place. Or it might be that you want to get some other advice about how you can do new tasks or new activities or new goals in a safe and more enjoyable way, so you don't have to worry about whether it's going to come back again. Because sometimes it can also be psychological. Once you get someone really well, they don't quite believe they're in a state that they could do it, although all their objective tests show that they're in much better state to do all the things they want to do quite safely. And so what we have to do is then it's a bit like an athlete where they don't know if they can run that 100-meter sprint as fast again. Until they actually go and do it, they can't quite believe it. So sometimes you have to work on that too. So it becomes much more than is it just a trapped nerve? Because there's so many more complex elements to this. And that's why it's always important to find a practitioner who's going to go through that initially with you to make sure they found the pinpoint area that needs to be released for you. Listen, I hope you found this useful. Please make sure you follow us on all of our social medias, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, everywhere at all. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and share this as well. Thanks so much.